Oh, you ever feel like someone's been watching you? Like since the moment you breathed your first air? Yeah? Every step, every thought, every time you tried to rise, someone's been pulling invisible strings. You think it's random? Nah, it's designed. It's deeper than gossip, darker than family talk, heavier than silence itself. Because listen, this ain't just another motivational rant, alright? This one cuts straight through your past, your bloodline, your memories. It's about you, the one who's always felt different, the one who saw the fake smiles and thought, something's not right here. Oh, wow, you were right. You've been a target since before you even knew how to defend yourself. Yeah, the world didn't come for you because you were weak. It came because you were dangerous to its system. Every look you gave, every question you asked, every time you said no, they felt it. That spark, that rebellion, that silent promise that one day you'd expose everything they tried to bury. And tonight, we're digging it up. So don't just watch. Listen. Every word, every pause, every silence in this speech, it's built to wake up something inside you. Because if you've ever felt misunderstood, rejected, silenced, this one's for you. You're not crazy. You're chosen. Yeah? Chosen to see what others are too afraid to admit. So stick with me till the end. Don't blink. Don't scroll. Because what's coming next will flip everything you thought you knew about your family, your past, and yourself. Oh nah, you don't want to miss this. Not this one. This one's personal. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I dare you. Tell me who you became after surviving what they thought would break you. This moment right here is our revolution of awareness. And if you're still standing after everything they threw at you, then you, my friend, are already legendary. They didn't aim at you because of what you did. They aimed because of what you were always going to become. That's the part they'll never admit. From the beginning, before you even had words, before you could defend yourself, they marked you, quietly, silently. A target was painted on your back long before you learned to stand. Not because you were weak. No, that would have been too easy. You were marked because you were strong. Because even as a child, something in your eyes said, I'll break every chain they try to wrap around me. And they saw it. Oh, they saw it crystal clear. Every time you spoke up, they called you defiant. Every time you asked questions, they called you difficult. Every time you refused to bow, they called you lost. But you weren't lost. You were simply awake in a house built to keep everyone else asleep. Your family wasn't ordinary, were they? The smiles, the traditions, the way they moved around certain topics like stepping around broken glass, something was off. You could feel it, couldn't you? That strange, heavy silence that fell whenever truth got too close. The way their voices cracked when you asked, why do we live like this? Why does no one talk about what happened before? They'd laugh it off, shift the conversation, pretend you never said it. But deep down, you knew. There was something being hidden, something dark. Something that followed you from childhood, like a shadow stitched to your soul. It's strange, isn't it? The people who are supposed to protect you, sometimes they're the ones who build the cage, not out of hate, but out of fear. Because the moment you wake up, the moment you see what's behind the curtain, you become unpredictable, dangerous, untamable, and you've always been untamable. They tried to break you early. The world joined in. Teachers said you were too much. Relatives said you'd change someday. Friends came and went because of your energy. It unsettled them. You made people uncomfortable without trying. You made them face themselves, and they hated that. But here's the truth, the raw, unsettling truth. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to expose, to peel back layers no one dared to touch. And your family, oh, they knew it. They knew your curiosity wasn't innocent. It was dangerous. It was the kind that could bring everything they buried right back to the surface. You think they didn't notice the way you watched, the way you listened when they whispered in the next room? You were supposed to forget those things, you know? You were supposed to grow up and obey, but you didn't. You remembered every hushed argument, every unfinished story, every photograph someone hid away at the back of a drawer. That's when it began. The subtle sabotage, the guilt trips, the silent treatments, the way they made you feel wrong for simply asking questions. They needed to make you doubt yourself, because doubt is the sharpest leash. But you kept looking. You kept wondering. You kept asking the one question they feared most. Why? And the more you asked, the more you saw their masks slip, their hands tremble, their voices crack. It wasn't you who was unstable. It was them. It was the truth they were running from, and you were the reminder that it couldn't stay buried forever. Oh wow, what a cruel trick life plays. To make you the truth seeker in a family that worships lies. To make you the mirror in a home terrified of reflections. But don't you see it now? Every rejection, every isolation, every strange twist of fate. It wasn't random. You were being tested, not punished. Prepared. They didn't hide the truth from you. They built you around it. That's the real twist, isn't it? The secret wasn't locked away in a box somewhere. You were the box. Every rule they forced on you, every story that didn't quite make sense, every warning that came too early, it was all designed to shape you. To make sure when the truth came crawling to the surface, it would find you already cornered. Oh wow. Imagine realizing that the people who raised you were also guarding something inside you, something you were never supposed to question. You were raised not to understand, but to forget. They needed you to play the role, to follow the script written before you could read. But you didn't follow, did you? You started peeling back the pages. You started noticing the handwriting, the signatures, the parts of the story that didn't belong. They thought they could rewrite your memory with routine, the same faces, same phrases, same don't ask answers. But repetition doesn't erase instinct. Somewhere inside, you kept feeling it, that eerie pulse that said, something's wrong here. Yeah, they called it imagination. They called it overthinking. But no, it was awareness. It was your mind trying to whisper what your family refused to speak. They couldn't destroy the truth, so they disguised it as normal. They made secrets sound like tradition. They made silence look like respect. And every time you almost uncovered it, they wrapped it back in guilt. Don't question your elders. Don't stir up the past. They were terrified you'd wake up one morning and realize that you were the thread holding their lies together. But you did wake up, didn't you? The signs were everywhere. That photograph that disappeared after you asked about it. That one room no one entered. That one name you overheard but were told never to mention again. And when you pushed, the anger came. The fear, the trembling, Because deep down they knew the secret wasn't about protecting the family. It was about protecting themselves from you. Oh nah, that realization burns, doesn't it? The people who smiled at you, who sat beside you, who told you it's for your own good. They were never shielding you from the world. They were shielding the world from what you might uncover. But here's where it gets darker. The secret isn't just something that happened to your family. It's something that created it. You weren't born into the aftermath. You were born as the continuation. The living proof that what they tried to bury didn't stay underground. You carry pieces of it in your memory, in your instincts, in the way people look at you like they've seen your face before in someone else's nightmare. Oh yeah, you were never the bystander. You were the key. And the truth? It's been waiting for the moment your courage finally outgrew their fear. Because once you uncover it, nothing and no one will ever see you the same again. They weren't protecting the secret from you. They were protecting the world from what you do with it. That's the punchline they never told you. The reason for the warnings, the whispering, the long stares across the dinner table. It wasn't the past that scared them. It was your potential. Because once you found out what was buried, you'd stop being controlled. You'd start choosing. And people like them, they don't survive when someone like you starts choosing for yourself. Oh wow. It hits hard, doesn't it? All those years thinking you were the fragile one, the outcast, the black sheep. But no, you were the threat they couldn't predict. You were the one piece on the board that didn't follow their rules. That's why they tried to break you so early. Because if they couldn't control your thoughts, maybe they could control your confidence. Maybe they could convince you to fear your own reflection. So they whispered things like, "You're too intense. You think too much. You're too different." But they weren't criticisms. They were confessions. They were saying, "We see something in you that we can't contain." Yeah. That's when they started playing the long game. Doubt, shame, manipulation disguised as care. The little things that chip away at the fire inside until you start wondering if maybe they were right. But you see, people like them never understand one truth. Pressure doesn't destroy diamonds. It reveals them. And you were built under pressure. Every wound taught you silence. Every betrayal taught you observation. Every isolation taught you patience. They wanted to slow your awakening, but all they did was refine it. Now look at you, sharper, quieter, more dangerous than ever. You don't even need to shout to be heard anymore. Your presence alone says, "I know what you did and I'm not afraid to remember." Oh, nah. That unsettles them, because now they realize the same child they tried to silence is the one holding the truth like a blade they can't take back. You've become the living consequence of their own deceit. Every secret they thought was buried deep now walks and breathes in you. And here's the real twist. They didn't fear your discovery. They feared your transformation. Because once the truth touches a mind like yours, it doesn't just inform you, it changes you. You stop being the victim of a story and become its editor. You stop surviving and start dissecting. You stop believing in what they told you and start believing in what you see. Oh yeah, that's when their silence turns into panic. Because truth in the wrong hands can be chaos. But truth in the right hands, in your hands, becomes justice. And justice terrifies those who've built comfort from lies. You were never the danger they warned others about. You were the balance they couldn't manipulate anymore. And now, as you stand here, aware, unbroken, awake. They can feel it. The secret isn't controlling you now. You control it. They said some doors should never be opened, but no one warned you that some doors open by themselves. That's when everything starts to twist, doesn't it? The moment you stop searching and the truth decides to find you. It comes quietly, like a shadow slipping through memory, rewriting what you thought was real. Suddenly, the stories change. The smiles shift. The past starts bleeding through the cracks of every conversation you replay in your mind. Oh wow. It hits like a storm. Every calm face you trusted starts to look staged. Every moment of comfort feels rehearsed. You start realizing the truth didn't just exist around you. It was shaping you, molding you, guiding you to become the exact kind of person who could carry it without collapsing. Yeah, it's almost cruel, isn't it? How everything starts making sense too late. How every punishment, every cold shoulder, every strange silence from your family wasn't chaos, it was coordination, a pattern. A protection built not for you, but against what you might one day uncover. They weren't just hiding what happened. They were hiding why. Because if you ever found out the reason behind it all, the real reason you were chosen, the real meaning behind those whispered warnings, you'd start to see the entire structure of their lies crumble. Oh nah, the realization burns. You start seeing that they didn't just protect a secret, they served it. Their lives revolved around maintaining its illusion, even if it meant losing you to confusion. But now that illusion's cracking, and you're the one holding the hammer. You've started noticing the small things, haven't you? The symbols in old photos, the names that repeat generation after generation, the same patterns of silence passed down like inheritance. And now it's clear, this isn't just about your family's shame. It's about something much larger, something they were born into but never escaped. Oh yeah, that's the real story. You weren't just born into a family. You were born into a cycle. And cycles don't break by themselves. They shatter when someone like you refuses to play along. They thought they buried the truth inside you, but they didn't know. Truth doesn't decay, it evolves. That's the moment you realize it, isn't it? The entire journey, every unanswered question, every uneasy silence, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You were being shaped to withstand what would have destroyed the rest of them. Because the secret you carry isn't meant to be whispered. It's meant to transform. Oh wow, that changes everything. You start to see that this was never about exposing anyone. It was about exposing yourself, the version of you that believed you were powerless, the version that thought the family shadow defined your worth. But now you stand at the edge of what they feared most, awareness. And awareness is irreversible. Yeah, they'll still try to reach you. They'll still use the same tactics. Guilt, nostalgia, twisted affection. They'll say you've misunderstood everything. But deep down you can feel it. The tone in their voice isn't confidence anymore, it's panic. They know what happens when the target becomes the observer. They know the balance has shifted. Oh nah, you can't unsee it now. You see the patterns in their words, the tremor in their laughter, the coded messages behind every family secret. You see how they've been protecting something that was never theirs to keep. And for the first time you realize you were never their shield. You were their reminder, the living proof that truth can survive even when generations try to bury it. The secret isn't about betrayal or shame, it's about responsibility. They were too afraid to face it, so they passed it to you, hoping you'd never notice the weight. But you did. You felt it every time your instincts warned you, every time your conscience whispered, "This isn't right." You felt the pull towards something cleaner, something clearer, not chaos, not revenge, but understanding. And now that you understand, the choice is yours. Not vengeance, not destruction, but discipline. To break the cycle without becoming what they were. To use the pain as precision, not poison. To walk forward, not out of hate, but out of clarity. Because clarity, that's what they could never handle. Clarity is power, without cruelty, strength without corruption. Oh yeah, you see it now. The target they painted on you wasn't a curse. It was a mark of potential. They feared you because you represented the end of the deception they depended on. And now that you've seen the entire structure, you realize the truth's greatest revenge isn't exposure, it's evolution. You don't have to destroy them. You just have to stop repeating them. Because the real victory isn't shouting the secret to the world. It's living in a way that proves you're free from it. So walk forward, steady. The silence that once trapped you now listens to you. The shadow that once followed now hides from you. Oh wow. You were never just part of their story. You were sent to end it. And there it is. The truth. They never wanted you to see. All those whispers, all those quiet glances across the table, they weren't protecting you. They were protecting the lie. Oh wow. Imagine that. You were the secret they tried to keep hidden, walking and breathing right in front of them. Yeah, I know. It burns. It shakes you. But look at you now. Still standing. Still breathing. Still refusing to break. You didn't crumble when you learned the truth. You transformed. That's what real power looks like. The kind they can't measure, can't silence, can't control. So what now? You walk forward. You build in truth. You move in awareness. You become the storm that cleans the air. Because once you've faced deception in your own bloodline, nothing outside can ever scare you again. Oh nah. You thought this story was about your family? No, it was about you. About the courage it takes to confront what others run from. About breaking a cycle so deep that it echoes through generations. You did that. You are that. So, listen. Don't just close this video and disappear. Drop your words in the comments. Tell me what part hit your soul. What truth finally clicked for you. Let's make that section burn with real voices, the ones that can't be muted anymore. Because this isn't just content. It's confession, turned into courage. You've faced what most people spend lifetimes avoiding. Oh yeah, that deserves respect. That deserves recognition. To everyone still watching till this moment, you're not ordinary viewers, you're witnesses to your own evolution. You're proof that no amount of lies can bury a soul that refuses to stop searching. So stand tall, my friend. They may have written about your past, but your future? That's your pen now.